been married since 2007. My husband and I were just told that he has an 11-year-old child.
Now, one thing that I have noticed after watching countless videos like this is to never form an opinion off the first minute of somebody's story, because far too often people will tell you what happened and then 5 minutes later they will tell you what led up to it.
He wants the child to come and live with us.
Did you just find out about that infidelity?
That too.
Kira, what's up?
It's very important that the child lives with their father in the house that he is about to live in, because you need to kick it out. See, unless you have had to raise someone else's child, I have. It is not easy watching the face of the man you love or the child that is not yours. It takes a different type of strength. Do you have children with him?
No.
Girl, a hard part about finding out that somebody cheated on you a long time ago, I feel robbed because we never would have made it this far had I known. If I would have found out 11 years ago that you was out here dogging me like this, sleeping with someone unprotected, which ultimately puts my life and my health at risk, we wouldn't have had these last 11 years.
Absolutely.
So now I gotta think that for the last 11 years, you have woken up every day and decided to lie in my face. For the last 11 years, you have kept this secret from me and came to the bed with me. Nothing was wrong. You're capable of lying to me every single day that you came home. What does my next 11 years with you look like?
Go ahead. What was you about to say?
So, my husband said because I cut him off in 2014, that's it, he's weak. That's how come that happened here.
Oh, you cut him off? Context is very important here.
And that's fine.
Context is...
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
When you say cut off, how long was this cutoffness?
2014.
So how long?
Now...
Boy, ain't no way, boy.
Man, we gotta be honest. The relationship ended when you decided to weaponize sex.
Okay. That part.
And there it is, y'all. Hold on. We need to run that timeline back. The daughter is 11. They've been in a sexless marriage for 12 years. He says he stepped out because she stopped having sex. So now I'm asking completely different questions. And as you could tell from the beginning of this conversation, when the woman chimed in, they are focusing on the affair and then the child. But I am looking at this marriage that existed before this affair. What happened? Was this marriage healthy before the sex stopped? Why did the sex stop? Was it because of infidelity? Was it because of something else? Why did they stay married for 12 years? What conversations were actually had? What expectations changed? What did they mutually agree to, if anything? Because this marriage didn't suddenly become dysfunctional when an 11-year-old daughter showed up. It sounds like she exposed problems that had been sitting there for years. Now, if she stopped having sex because of a betrayal, that's important context. Trust has to be rebuilt. But if that's what happened, say that. Because right now we're left to fill in the blanks, and I'm not interested in inventing and creating parts of somebody else's marriage. Marriage starts with shared expectations, shared behaviors, and shared agreements. If one spouse decides they are no longer participating in a fundamental part of that marriage, that's their right. Nobody has to have sex they don't want to have. But you don't get to quietly change and rewrite the terms of the marriage and the narrative by yourself and expect your spouse to keep operating as if nothing changed. If your needs change, if your boundaries change, if what you want to participate in changes, you need to say that and renegotiate the marriage. Allow your spouse to decide whether they're still agreeing to the same marriage. Because this isn't just about sex. This same thing would apply to money, children, religion, family, living arrangements, career choices, anything that fundamentally changes the marriage, because people change and that's life. But the terms of a marriage shouldn't change through silence. Now let's go back to how this story was presented. We were introduced to the affair, then the daughter, then later, the 12-year sexless marriage. And here's what I know. That changes how people understand the story. Whether she intended to or not, it does. Because if your explanation for withholding sex for over a decade isn't clear, people are naturally going to start asking questions. Did sex stop because the marriage was broken? Or did intimacy become leverage? Those are two very different conversations. Now, he says he stepped out because she stopped having sex. That's his explanation. Whether you think it's a good explanation is a different conversation. An explanation isn't the same thing as justification. He still made that decision. Now, I'm not going to pretend as if his explanation doesn't exist because it's inconvenient. Cheating was still his choice. Nobody forced him to do it. But pretending a 12-year sexless marriage has nothing to do with the condition of this relationship doesn't make sense either. He still made that decision. Both things can be true. And here's something else that I noticed. When a wife talks about years without intimacy, people immediately start asking questions. Was she lonely? Did he stop pursuing her? Did he make her feel unwanted? Was she emotionally neglected? Was the marriage already over? People start examining the relationship. But when it's a husband in a years-long sexless marriage and he cheats, then the conversation ends with he cheated, case closed. Nobody asks what conversations were had. Nobody asks what expectations changed. Nobody asks whether they had mutually agreed to a sexless marriage. Nobody asks whether one person quietly changed the relationship while the other person kept showing up expecting the marriage they originally agreed to. Now flip it. If a husband came online and admitted he hadn't had sex with his wife in 12 years, then she had another man's child, do y'all honestly think people wouldn't be asking what happened inside that marriage? I think they would. Because most people understand that a marriage doesn't become sexless for 12 years without something breaking down long before somebody steps outside of it. Everybody wants a villain. I'm more interested in the evidence. Because this doesn't sound like a marriage that suddenly broke when an 11-year-old daughter appeared. It sounds like two people who had been living under two completely different versions of marriage for a long time. One person changed the marriage and the other person responded to the marriage they believed they were living in. Eventually, those two realities collided, and this little girl didn't create this mess. Now, I got a few questions for y'all. So when does a marriage actually end? Is it when somebody cheats? Or is it when two people stop having the hard conversations and start making life-changing decisions on their own? If one spouse fundamentally changes the marriage without a mutual agreement, is the other spouse expected to simply accept it forever? And when expectations change, whose responsibility is it to start that conversation? And did hearing that they hadn't had sex in 12 years change how you viewed this entire story? Because it definitely changed mine. Now, let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. Don't just tell me who you think was wrong. Tell me where you think this marriage actually went wrong. And if you enjoyed this discussion, don't forget to like the video, hype the video, subscribe, and share as well. Thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.